Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of the Grandstand here on the Ohio Patriot Education Network YouTube channel. I am, as always, your host, AR the Ohio Patriot. And for today's episode, we're going to talk about a few different Ohio related topics as well as a few news stories of the day. The Ohio related topics are going to basically be about different pieces of legislation that the current Ohio General Assembly submitted in the last couple of days, as well as Ohio Supreme Court Justice Patrick Dewine, because I got some comments from people asking about his ties and connections to Mike DeWine, our current governor. And for those interested, yes, he is the son of Mike DeWine, current governor of the state of Ohio. The big difference is when it comes to Pat DeWine is that Pat is actually a constitutionalist, unlike his father. And there's two reasons why we here at the Ohio Patriot Education Network endorse Patrick DeWine for the Ohio Supreme Court for re-election. The first one being, obviously, with stuff going on in this country, especially post-Bruin ruling, Patrick has shown himself to be very, very good when it comes to rulings on the Second Amendment. Specifically, when you go back even to when there was a lawsuit going on about a year or two ago with Bloomberg and company trying to fuck us over and doing the whole stuff to the state Supreme Court, where it took them to they were trying to basically make it so that you had to have teachers get like 700 hours of police training and a bunch of other garbage and stuff like that. Pat DeWine, Pat Fisher, Sharon Kennedy were the three people that were like, no, this is absolute bullshit what Bloomberg is trying to do. Fuck him. This is unconstitutional. And they rightfully sided with the Constitution and the school system at that time. The three leftist judges, the three Democrats, Jennifer Brenner, I forget who the other two were named at this point. One of them was a man, one was a woman. And it was those three jackasses, along with current Supreme Court Justice Maureen O'Connor, who's going to be out of office at the end of the year due to term limits. Or not term limits, due to age limits. So technically she's term limited out, is what it is. Due to age, is what it is. And as I talked to my state rep this year, about a month or so ago now, we were discussing it, and I was like, yeah, is there a reason why you guys haven't impeached O'Connor, O'Connor, Brennan, and the two other people, or not Brenner, yeah. Well, they haven't impeached Maureen O'Connor, Jennifer Brenner, and the two other leftists there is what it was. And as he told me, he's like, yeah, if you're gonna, how do you say it now? If you're gonna kill the king, you got to make sure that the shot counts or something like that. Is the way he said it, or make sure that your hit counts or something. I forget exactly how he put it. Is what it was. But basically, what he was saying was the real problem right now with the Ohio General Assembly currently is that there are a lot of good people in it. There's also a bunch of career rhinos in it as well. And the real issue becomes the career rhino people don't want to stick their necks out right before the midterms to deal with the unconstitutional tyranny going on in our Supreme Court right now, dude. Because the problem is when you have Maureen O'Connor being the head of the Ohio Supreme Court right now and doing unconstitutional rulings, like, continuously ruling our maps were unconstitutional for redistricting and stuff like that, which is absolute bullshit entirely. And it's why they're fighting up the actual Supreme Court right now at a federal level. You had her and the three leftists on the judge, or three leftist judges on our state Supreme Court and stuff like that, basically rule against everything. You had Pat DeWine, Pat Fisher, and Sharon Kennedy all rule in favor of them, as they should, because they are 100% constitutional, because Ohio is a red state at this point, dude. We have been for over a decade now. So the big thing there was when it came to that, and then it also came to some post Bruin rulings and stuff like that. And I believe there was something where it was relating to some kind of I forget if it was knife legislation that went through this year, and then it was them ruling on like some case or something, or if it was like a Second Amendment case. But there was one recently. It was in the last couple months here. And I'll tell you what, dude, at this point I was kind of like wishy-washy on Pat DeWine. It was after the statements that he made on the Second Amendment, dude, that I 100% was like, no, we're backing him for this race, dude. Because it was him straight up saying, like, basically going like full originalist, how it should be. And, his sworn oath to office under the Constitution and being like, no, this is how things are. This is how the Second Amendment was written. Like, you're not going to try to rule against this, et cetera, et cetera. And the same thing with Sharon Kennedy and Pat Fisher. They were all, doing good things is what it was there. And the big thing is, when it comes to Pat Dewine, even if he is, Mike Dewine's son, there could be a conflict of interest there, obviously, and there has been in the past with some stuff. But, like, again, it's not really an issue when you're recusing yourself from various cases and stuff like that. And the big thing of it is, as well, is the Democrat woman running against Pat Dewine right now, Marilyn Zayas, I think that's her pronounce her name, is like Zayas or something like that. She is a fucking psychotic lunatic, dude. Legitimately. This woman is a fucking nut who should have been disbarred years ago in the state. The fact that she still has the license to practice as a judge is ridiculous. And the other one, too, that's running against Pat Fisher as well, dude. Like, both of those leftist women are fucking nuts, dude. That Jameson woman is just as crazy as Zayas is, dude. And it's because they're sitting there legitimately being like, oh, there's dangerous people out here and there's dangerous ass criminals. Let's go ahead and not make fucking bail a thing here. And they're basically for cashless bail is what it is, dude. And it's like, how the fuck are you going to even try to run for any judge office, especially a state Supreme Court seat, dude? Jesus Christ. Like, again, that goes back to something I mentioned in the last episode with Nan Whaley. Why are these people not being automatically disqualified from the running? It's just common sense at this point, dude. When you are running to be an oath breaker, how the fuck are you even in the running anymore? It's madness. It really is. And that's the big thing right there, And so, yeah, that's why we're 100% endorsing Dewine for Patrick Dewine for the state Supreme Court for re-election there, because really it comes multiple things right now. Obviously his opponent's a nut job. He's the better of the two candidates, and it's also the fact that right now, as it stands, Ohio has a 4-3 Republican majority in the state Supreme Court. And when we replace O'Connor come the next year here, which I think there's a race actually going up right now, that's technically what it is it's going to be Sharon Kennedy, who's probably going to win the race, versus Jennifer Brenner, who's trying to run. Those two are trying to run against each other to do the new Chief Justice seat. And I believe there's going to be another person coming into the state Supreme Court is what it is this year. Or either that or sometime next year we'll have a special election race for that, like 7th seat is what it is. But the entire point is, though, we have to maintain that 4-3 majority, dude. Always. If not make it a 5-2 majority, actually, at this point, because when you have people who are 100% activist pieces of shit, dude, on a state Supreme Court or any fucking court for that matter, dude, like, they don't need to be judges anymore is what it is, dude. And like I said, when it comes to Brenner and the other two Dems on our Supreme Court now, dude, yeah, they should have all been arrested at this point, dude. The fact that county sheriffs have not done their job right now and walked into the chambers of the state Supreme Court and just been like, you're under arrest for deprivation of color of law and a bunch of other stuff right now, dude, for Jennifer Brenner and these other two, is everything that's wrong with this state right now, dude, honestly. And it goes back to the corruption I've talked about for the past probably 5 years right now in the state of Ohio, dude. And this is something I've realized since like about 2017, 2018, give or take, where, this is when I really started following Ohio politics, was the post-Trump years and stuff like that. And it's like, dude, I understand why people are talking about Ohio being one of the most corrupt states out here, man. Because we are. And like, people want to say, oh, it's, one side or the other. It's like, no, dude, it's both. It's both for real. Like, and as I talked about earlier, talking to my state rep earlier this year and stuff like that, dude, when we're discussing topics and stuff like that, and he's discussing all these career politicians that don't want to, do their job as what it is and actually back things the correct way, yeah, there's a huge issue right there, dude. And it's like, these are why people don't need to be in office after, 10, 15, 20 years, whatever it is, dude. And it's exactly why our entire citizenry in the state came together, a decade or so ago. And actually, I think it was longer than that, because it was back in the, I want to say up to 2000s or so is when we finally did the thing for term limits on the state house is what it is. And it's like, yeah, that's why we put in term limits for, both the state house and the state senate is what it is, dude. Because we didn't want people being career politicians for 10, 15 terms, whatever it is, dude. The problem is so many people are just ignoring that rule and just flipping the General Assembly is what it is, dude. Which is, like I said, I would love to see a piece of legislation introduced right now that would just ban that entirely, dude. Be like, no, you've had, 6, 8 years here, whatever it is, get the fuck out. Don't come back. And that's how it should be, dude. In fact, I would love to see it called the Get the Fuck Out Act of whatever year it would be then, dude. Like, that would be funny as hell. Because it would be just at that point, man. It's like, yeah, we don't want your fucking asses here anymore, dude. You're pieces of shit. Leave. You've had your time. But nah, seriously though. But no, yeah, for real though. Pat Dewine, unlike his father who put us under 440 days of tyranny, he didn't do that. And as far as I've seen from this year and from the past few years and stuff like that, dude, since Pat's been on our Supreme Court and stuff like that, he's been a good dude. He's judged as he should, using constitutional rulings is what it is. And that's the big thing, when you're actually going to be, swearing an oath to the Constitution and actually upholding it, which is surprising in a lot of cases because most people don't. He's the person that needs to be in there right now is what it is, dude. And it's really simple as that. So anyway, moving on to a couple things I wanted to talk about here. For those that don't know, there is a site called legiscan.com, and it basically, you can go on there, whatever state you're in, you can look up, the various legislation that's going through your General Assembly at the time or whatever. And it's usually like bills are introduced in the last, few days, and they can be all the way to like, I believe it's throughout the entire General Assembly, how long it is or whatever, which of course, depending on the state you're in, it's different time periods and stuff like that. Ohio, we go for 2 years, and pretty much it's throughout that entire 2 years, you have our people in our state house and our state senate coming back into office every so often is what it is. Like, of course, they'll take breaks here and there throughout the year through, various holidays and stuff like that, or maybe it's like a summer break or a spring break or whatever it is then. But for the most part, it's, I would say about 7 months or so out of the year, they're in office to do stuff. And so you're talking about roughly 14 months out of 24, give or take, that they're in to do various things and whatnot. And yeah, they're back in session right now for this go around until, I believe it is the end of the month, because they're going off for like a couple weeks for Thanksgiving, I believe is what it is, in November. And then they're going to come back in like early December, and then they're going to be out before Christmas is what it is then. But anyway, so basically right now, there was a few pieces of legislation introduced in the last couple of days here for the 2021-2022 Ohio General Assembly here. The most interesting ones among them are 3 different things, actually. You got the Supreme Court, or not Supreme Court, you got the State Senate introducing SB 365, which was include free market capitalism content and educational standards. I thought that one was very, very interesting. We're going to talk about that one in a few minutes. Then we got House Bill 735, increased sentencing range, 3rd-degree felony domestic violence. And what's interesting to me is how when you start looking at some of these, you can begin to understand who's behind them. And usually it's, Democrats trying to score political points doing stuff, or it's Republicans being like, no, we just want to have a better standard of stuff, dude. And usually I can look at a piece of legislation and be like, it's probably Republicans doing that. And look at something else and be like, oh yeah, it's definitely Democrats or whatever. And then the other one I want to talk about, which was revised post-conviction relief proceedings, which is House Bill 738, because of course that's a bunch of Democrats that are on that one. So I'm going to go ahead and pull these up real quick, and then we'll do a re-screen share here. But yeah, the one thing I thought was very interesting with a lot of this is, and actually what's surprising to me is there was quite a few people on several of these, actually, dude. Like not like, everybody in the various sides of the state house and stuff like that, but it was like a few people here and there is what it was. But of course, it was pretty much almost every single Democrat on the one piece of legislation here, which was the revised post-conviction relief proceedings law. So the problem I have with this entirely is, and we're going to go ahead and do a little screen share here of this one, because it's got, I want to say there are 35 Democrats in our state house right now. And according to this, there were 23 on this bill, dude. My biggest problem with this is, as far as I'm reading this, it's basically them trying to let convicts out of prison, potentially without bail. And I'm not okay with that, man, at all. But of course, that's the typical Democrat line now, dude. It's like, yeah, let's do a bunch of criminal shit is what it is, dude, and see if we can get away with it. Thankfully, this is a dead on arrival bill. Thank God on that one. Unless, of course, Republicans actually want to take it up before the end of the year, which I highly doubt it will. I highly doubt they will, just because of that fact, dude. Because again, if the Republican Party in this state doesn't want something to get done, it ain't gonna get done, dude. Because they have the supermajority, and Democrats can go fuck themselves. But yeah, as this claims, it says summary to amend sections 181.25, 2929.06, 2953.21, and 2953.23, and to enact sections 182.26, 2953.85 of the revised code to make changes to the law regarding post-conviction relief proceedings to establish the Ohio Innocence Commission. So really what it is, hey, let's piss away a bunch of taxpayer dollars and create some bullshit unnecessary commission thing that, hey, who's going to be over this commission? Oh, it's going to be some psychotic lunatic lieutenant governor in the future, similar to John fucking Fetterman, who lets a bunch of mass murderers back on the fucking streets. That's the way I take that anyway, dude. Now, granted, I could be reading stuff into this. I don't fucking know, but I wouldn't be surprised by it, honestly. But let's go ahead and actually read the text of this bill, though, just to confirm if I'm right or wrong about this. So, yeah, anyway. Let's see how long is this bad boy. 30 pages. Let's see how many people are actually on this, though. Okay, so you got Dave Leland, who's out of office in the year. So this is his last couple months in office right now. So you got that motherfucker is the primary on this. And then Pamela Hicks Hudson, who I believe is trying to flip our General Assembly to our state Senate right now, is the other primary sponsor on this. And then you got, let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Okay, so there was actually just 23 then. Sometimes, this is one thing I've realized with our legislation here, is sometimes you'll have different people that will be on the one side of it, and then you'll actually look at the bill text and stuff like that, and there'll be like 2 or 3 more names on it then. And it's people that just didn't want to put their names on the actual site is what it was then, or have the names out of the actual thing is what it was. So, but yeah, this is one of the ones where it's just the 23 then. So anyway, as I said here, let's go down this a little bit further because there's probably things that are going to be current here. Okay, so let's see the stuff they're trying to take out right now. So let's see. Number 5, collect and maintain data that pertains to the cost to counties of the felony sentence appeal provisions set forth in sections 2953.08 of the revised code of the post-conviction relief proceedings provisions set forth by the division A2 of the establishment, some other thing there, and the appeals from judgments entered into such post-conviction relief proceedings. This is all stuff they're going to try to take out right now, by the way. Said the data so collected and maintained shall include, but shall not be limited to, the increase in expenses that counties experience as a result of these provisions and these appeals, and the number of felony sentence appeals made, post-conviction relief proceedings filed, and appeals of post-conviction relief proceeding judgments made in each county under these provisions. That's actually seems like a pretty good piece of legislation right there, dude. Like, I don't know why you're trying to take that out right now, unless it's because you're a bunch of oath-breaking fucking cunts that know you should all be in prison right now. Which, by the way, I'd like to point something out on this one. The 23 names on this list are all Democrats, dude, are every single motherfucker who has tried to push for red flag laws and universal background checks in the state of Ohio since 2019 Dayton massacre. That could have been stopped had piece of shit Nan Whaley done her fucking job back in May of 2019 and stopped the killer back then. But of course, she didn't fucking do that because she's a fucking piece of shit, dude, is what it is. Just like all the Democrats that 3 days after the fucking Dayton massacre pushed for fucking red flag laws, universal background checks with a copy and paste thing by their big daddy warbucks motherfucker, Michael Bloomberg, dude. And it's exactly why every single one of their oath-breaking asses should be in prison right now, dude, because they're all committing deprivation of kind of law with that kind of crap, dude. But yeah, for them to try to sit here and take this thing out here where it's talking about like, hey, here's this, data that's being collected here to be like, this is how much it's costing counties for convicts and appeals and everything else like that. Like, dude, that should be some shit we should have at that point, dude. Because it's like, again, why are you trying to hide the fact that it's costing us money? Maybe it's because you're a bunch of scumbags. I swear to God, man, these people shouldn't be getting paid right now. For real. Okay, so the thing that they're trying to push in here now, which is here, section 181.26, said each appellate court shall collect and maintain data that pertains to the felony sentencing appeal provisions set forth section 2923.08 of the revised code. Post-conviction relief proceedings provided provisions set forth in section B2 of the section 2953.21 of the revised code, and the appeals from judgments entered in such provision relief proceedings. Data so collected and maintained shall include, but not let's see. Data shall so collected and maintained shall include, but shall not be limited to, number of convictions resulting from a plea, a number of convictions resulting from a trial, the number of persons convicted by any offense, the fuck, number of grounds relied upon in post-conviction relief proceedings, number of appeals filed, the percentage of appeals filed, the number of appeals that affirm a conviction, number of appeals that revise a conviction, the number of appeals that are remanded, and the cases that are remanded, the number of cases that are dismissed, stayed, or terminated, including the reasons for each dismissal, stay, or termination. So basically, let's piss away even more money. Exactly what the fucking Democrat Party loves to do, man. Seriously, this is fucking stupid, dude. So what they did with this is they basically wrote the exact same shit and then added like 15 more sentences to it to make it even more fucking convoluted and complicated and stuff like that, dude. So instead of having a streamlined process, which is what the current thing is right now, dude, they're like, no, let's make it a whole convoluted mess and make it even more of a fucking pain in the ass for everybody to do is what it is, dude. Or is it that they just want to hire themselves after they get out of office at the state house into a bunch of these positions they're trying to create right now, dude? Because I think that's another thing, too, by the way. They possibly could be doing that shit as well, dude, on this one. So, anyway, continuing on with this, though, it said, B, beginning in 2024, not later than the 15th day of January of each year, each appellate court shall file an annual report with the State Criminal Sentencing Commission that includes the data collected in the prior year. Again, not a necessary thing, dude. You can find that shit on the thing is what it is, dude. That's ridiculous. So that's one of the new things we're trying to put in there entirely. Let's see. Is there anything else we're trying to put in here now? Yeah, there's a bunch more of that crap here. Actual innocence means that had the results of the DNA testing conducted under sections. Jesus. Fucking people. See, this is the problem with the Democrats, dude. They just love criminals. They just love criminals, dude. And of course, they're trying to take out all the stuff there that basically would be like, no, these people were criminals. They deserve to have, their shit be, dude, because they're on parole is what it is. I feel like that's really what this is, honestly, dude. It's basically them trying to do it with parole. And the post-conviction parole process there, and just be like, oh, but that doesn't exist anymore. You're no longer on parole or whatever now. You're just free again. You're just free to go be our fucking voter base now and everything. That's exactly what it is, dude. Honestly, they just want to create new voters, dude. That's exactly what this whole thing is. It's exactly what all 23 of their oath-breaking asses, starting with Thomas West, need to be tossed fuck out of office. So, anyway. For those interested, well, I specifically say Thomas West because he is the biggest piece of shit on this list. Well, maybe not the biggest, actually. Casey Weinstein's a bigger fucking cunt. And Casey Weinstein is the one who committed a hoax on himself, what was it, about a month or so after I got federally swatted, give or take, back in 2019. It was like September 2019 or whatever when he pulled the whole meme hoax on himself then, where he threw memes into his own mailbox and then sold the print off on a buy-sell trade set on Facebook like 2 days later. Fucking ridiculous, dude. The fact that he was never investigated for that, it's like, dude, how the fuck is this man still a state rep right now? Just absolute bullshit entirely, dude. It really is. Anyway. Going to the other side of the General Assembly, though. We got, not the other side, but the other, I guess it would be the other side of the State House is what it is here. We got House Bill 735 by 10 Republicans, which is to amend sections 2919.25 and 2929.14 of the revised code to increase the sentencing range of third-degree felony domestic violence and to create a presumption in favor of a prison term for the offense. So my thing with that is entirely this is the biggest issue I have with domestic violence and stuff like that in general, dude. It's like, why are there multiple charges for it, dude? If you're beating somebody's ass, I don't care if you're a man or a woman for that matter. Like, you need to be going off jail, dude, is what it is. Like, if you're battering someone, like, you should be in prison right now, dude. Now, granted, there's the real issue with this whole thing right now, and I've talked to people about this before, dude, is cunts lie, dude. And by that I mean bitches lie. Like, there's a lot of females out there who are bitches who want to sit there and lie about shit, dude. Who want to sit there and smack themselves in the face and then be like, oh, this dude hit me, lock his ass up. I mean, hell, I had a neighbor who his brother-in-law, they almost fucked him on that one, dude. Because they try to take his guns in a state that doesn't actually have fucking red flag laws in it. Because some bitch was like, oh, this man hit me, he's my ex baby daddy or whatever it was at the time. And it's like, I forget if they actually get together or not. It might have just been like ex-boyfriend or whatever then. But yeah, they took his firearms and stuff like that for a little bit of time, and he had to fight in court and stuff like that. And the only reason that he got his shit back is because the judge realized, like, after like the second or third court hearing, they're like, this chick's story keeps changing. Like, she's clearly a liar. We're sentencing her, not you. Like, here's your shit back. And the fact that it even took that long is ridiculous, dude, entirely. But anyway, let's see who's actually on this one right now. So for the sponsors of this, for our current state reps and stuff, we got Jeff Luray, Kevin Miller, who's going to be out of office coming the end of the year because he already got beat in the primaries, if I'm not mistaken. Sarah Carruthers, Timothy Ginter, who's going to be out of office. He's termed out. Jennifer Gross, Adam Holmes, who I can't remember if he's up for election or if he got termed this year. I think he got termed. Phil Plummer, who I believe is going to be running for his fourth and final term. Craig Rendell, who keeps flip-flopping the General Assembly with Kirk Shearing, the guy I was trying to run against for the state senate. Of course, I didn't get a chance to get in that race, is what it was. Gene Schmidt, who was in our state house in the 90s and came back again in 2020. And then Andrea White, who I can't remember if it was Andrea White or if it was somebody else, who was the only Republican that sided with Democrats to give Dewine emergency powers and stuff like that, dude. I don't think it was White. I think it was some other chick. It was I believe it was one of the first term chicks is what it was. It's not on this list. So, but yeah, it's just ridiculous, dude. It's like, you're going to be the only fucking Republican that's going to be like, oh no, the governor having emergency powers is perfectly fine, even though you put us under 440 days of tyranny up to this point in time in history. It's like, how the hell were you not thrown out of office on the spot at that point, dude? Like, they should have fucking tossed you out right then and there, lady. Damn. But anyway, so going on to read this, though, I want to actually read exactly what this would up and stuff like that right now. So, as it says here, so you got Luray and Miller being the ones that are on this as the primaries. Interestingly enough, point something out, dude. Kevin Miller, I'm pretty sure was a householder appointee back in like 2018 or 2019. And what's interesting about Kevin Miller is he's actually an ex-cop. So, or wait, no, was Kevin Miller a household? I'm trying to think now. I can't remember if he was a householder appointee or if he actually replaced householder as by an appointment is what it was. I think maybe that's what it was. I know it was one or another, but either way, I know Kevin Miller's like an ex-cop because he was like the it wasn't like the sergeant at arms guy or whatever for our state house, but it was like one of the cops underneath that guy or whatever it is. Like, he was one of those dudes that was like security guys or something at the state house, and he was like an ex-sheriff or not sheriff, state highway patrol. That's what it was, I believe. So, yeah, I'm not surprised in the least that some cops are like, oh, yeah, let's fucking put some more criminal shit up in here and stuff, you know. But anyway, this is the stuff that they would be introducing, though, here to add it to this thing. So there is a preemption for prison term for the offense if the offender previously had pled guilty to or been convicted of 2 or more offenses of domestic violence or 2 or more convictions of or offenses of the type described in Division D3 of this section involving a person who was a family or household member at the time of the violations or offenses, and the offender knew that the victim of the violation was pregnant at the time of the violation. A conviction of Division A or B of this section is a felony of the 3rd degree. Okay, so basically they're saying if you're beating on some pregnant chick, now now it's going to be a felony. How was it not a felony before that? Like, dude, like, am I taking crazy pills here? Like, how the fuck was... Are you kidding me? Like, this shit is just a misdemeanor right now? Like, bro, that's fucked up. Like, you want to know why our country is so fucked? It's because of shit like this right here, man. That they have to up beating of a pregnant chick to a fucking felony when apparently it's according right now, it's a misdemeanor, apparently. Like, goddamn, dude. Or wait. Is it maybe a felony of the 4th degree instead of the 3rd degree? Maybe that's what it is. Because I would think it would still be a felony, considering it specifically states here is there is a felony of the 3rd degree, then if that be the case. So I'm wondering if it's already a felony of the 4th degree, maybe? Because that would make sense. That would make sense then. I feel like it has to be a felony already, right? Like, there's no way it can't be. Oh, wait, no. Here we go. Let me go further up here now real quick. Let's see. Section is the felony of the 4th degree, and if the offender knew that the victim of the violation was pregnant at the time of the violation, court shall impose a mandatory prison term of the offender pursuant to Division D6 of the thing. Violation of this section is a misdemeanor of the 2nd degree. Yeah, maybe it is just a I don't... That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, dude, like, wife beating, like, seriously. Like, you're beating the shit out of a chick who's clearly knocked up, man. Like, that ain't okay, bro. Like, that's one step away from Planned Parenthood fucking mass murdering, dude, pretty much. So, anyway. Let's see. Offender knew victim of the violation was pregnant at the time of the violation. That's stuff they're adding right there, apparently. Okay, so it sounds like it's just to basically help chicks who are in domestic violence relationships and are pregnant at the time of this shit happening. That's what it appears to be. So, piece of shit baby daddies is what it is, dude. Is the way I look at it from that perspective of stuff. A little sad, actually, when you think about it, dude, that they have to literally push legislation through to be like, okay, now we're going to up this to a 3rd degree felony because it's already been an issue for years now or something, dude. It's like, why wasn't this done years ago? Like, Jesus, like, again, it's kind of funny going back to what I was talking to my state rep and stuff like that, because he's like, yeah, the one thing I realized after getting into the state house is like just how slow government works. And I'm just like, yeah, because it took you all 25 years to get constitutional carry through. Like, that's a sad fact of things, dude. 1997, Ohio should have had constitutional carry. It was introduced back then. 2004, we got concealed carry licensing. 2022, we finally got constitutional carry. Like, fuck, man. It's like, you mean to tell me I could have had this stuff when I was 12 years old and I didn't get it then? Like, that's some bullshit, man. Sorry, my internet's being wonky as hell right now. And not let me pull tabs up and stuff. Yeah, it's been doing this all day, actually. Damn it, come on. What the fuck? I don't know if y'all can still hear me or not, but yeah, this is being an issue right now, and it seems to be that my stuff is starting to frame out or not. Okay, there it goes. It's starting to fuck up on me a little bit here. I'm gonna have to end this one early, actually, just because of that. If it's gonna keep being all funky like this. Yeah, because unfortunately, I can't grab any tabs right now, except for the one that I'm in currently. Like, it's literally not allowing me to grab anything. So, yeah, I think we'll have to end this one early, unfortunately. If nothing else, some of the stuff I was going to talk about earlier with other things, we will add into the 2A cast later today or something then and go from there. But other than that, yeah, unfortunately, I don't know. My laptop has been messed up for about the last 12 hours or so. I'm hoping I can do the 2A cast later today. If I can, it'll definitely happen. But if it's still fucking up or whatever the case be, just know that one that I have scheduled for like 5:30 this afternoon, it's probably not going to happen then. Yeah, it's unfortunate, man. Like I said, there's not much I can do about it here because it's like as soon as I clicked off that one tab, like it just like completely fucked up my entire thing here for Firefox and all right now, and I don't know what's going on right now. I think it has something to do with the fact I left my laptop on last night for a few hours and then it just didn't. It hasn't been right since then. Is what it is. And I needed a laptop for like a year and a half anyway because the batteries in this is dead, and the only way it's even working right now is to have it plugged into the outlet. So, but yeah, other than that, I think we pretty much covered most of what we're going to cover anyway. Oh, of course, and now the shit's actually working again. Okay, fine. Fuck it. If it actually was going to work here, we can keep doing here, but I don't think it is because it's not. Okay, no, I guess it is working a little bit. All right. Let's see if I can actually screen share this or not. If I can, we'll continue on with this episode. If I can't, it's whatever then. Okay. So this is the other piece of legislation I want to talk about with the Ohio General Assembly, which is Senate Bill 365, P365. 11. So we got 33 Republicans currently in our. Or wait, no, is it 33? No, it's not quite that many. 25. Yeah, it's 33 members entirely. So it'd be 25 currently in our state Senate right now. So 11 of them, just under half, are on this legislation, which is to amend section 3301.079 of the revised code to incorporate free market capitalism content into the high school financial literacy and entrepreneurship standards and model curriculum. I totally agree with this, by the way. That's awesome. Then we got Steve Wilson being the primary on that one. Andrew Brenner, who was the guy who was that dude's actually fucking funny, dude. He was the dude who actually made viral news because his dumbass was acting like he was sitting in a random room while he was clearly driving from one part of the fucking General Assembly to the other for some like meeting or something. And he had what really gave it away was the dumbass had his seatbelt on and had like a fucking fake background in the back to make like he was in a house or something. And they're like, dude, are you driving right now? And he's like, no. And then it came out that he actually was. And it's like, dude, you're just an idiot. Like, you could have easily just said, hey, sorry, gotta be someplace else. Gonna be driving for the next 10 to 15 minutes. I'm not gonna fucking be a distracted driving person, is what it is, dude. Which, ironically enough, I believe that's one of the pieces of legislation they were talking about that day was about distracted driving. So, yeah, the guy's just an idiot, is what it is. But, anywho, continuing back on with this, though, you got him on there. You got Jerry Serino, who's the first-term state senator. Teresa Gavarone, who's trying to run for, I believe, re-election right now. Frank Hoagland, who's been pretty good, 2A dude. George Lang, who should be not in our General Assembly right now because Candace Keller should be in that seat right now. Rob McCauley, who I believe was a new guy. Chandra O'Brien, who is one of the first-termer things here. Bob Peterson, who's going to be termed out at the end of the year and is running for state rep currently. Again, he's one of these guys flip-flopping to General Assembly. Mark Romanchek, who I've actually talked to his aides before about Second Amendment stuff, and he's actually a pretty big 2A guy. And then Timothy Schaefer, who I want to say he's kind of a scumbag old rhino is what it is. But either way, I thought it was very interesting. Oh, right now. Is it Tim Schaefer I'm thinking of? Fuck. No, it's not Schaefer. Not Schaefer. No, Schaefer. I believe Schaefer is actually the guy who was pro 2A as fuck, is what it is, dude. I know there's one in there. It's another Timothy Ginter. That's who I'm thinking of. Who I think is in our state house right now. Yeah, Ginter's a scumbag old rhino. That's who I'm thinking of. I knew it was one of the Timothys, so I just couldn't remember which one right there. But no, if I'm not mistaken, Schaefer is he's a good dude. He was one of the guys who was actually instrumental in doing constitutional care, if I'm not mistaken. So, but anyway, so going on to read this piece of legislation here, as long as it actually pops through here. We got let's see if it actually how long this is. 10 pages. See, that's what I'm saying. That's how shit needs to be. Very slow. Very subtle and very like to the point, dude, is what it is. So yeah, I just got different stuff here. It's about all the stuff that's already currently there. Okay, so this is what they're adding in. Section B. State board shall incorporate into the standards and model curriculum of the financial literacy and entrepreneurship for grades 9 through 12 academic content regarding free market capitalism. The academic content shall include all of the following concepts related to free market capitalism. 1. Raw materials, labor, and capital, the three classical factors of economic production, are privately owned. 2. Individuals control their own ability to work, earn wages, and obtain skills to earn and increase wages. 3. Private ownership of capital may include a sole proprietorship, a family. I don't even know how to pronounce. I'm assuming I'm bastardizing that word. I would have to have that said to me because that's one of my things with my autism. I can't really sometimes pronounce words properly. A family business, a privately branded corporation. Fuck that, dude. Or sorry, not privately branded, privately traded corporation. Corporations are not people, by the way. Fuck those people that own these things, dude. All these scumbag ass CEOs that are fucking over us. Is what it is, dude. But anyway, so yeah, it's a publicly traded corporation, a group of private investors, or a bank. Again, how does a bank or a privately traded corporate or publicly traded corporation, how do either one of those equate to free market capitalism, dude? Neither one does, by the way. Because again, this is why we've seen crony capitalism for fucking decades now, dude. Because of shit like that. Because of too big to fail banks and because of too big to jail corporations, dude. So no, both of those things, I would say, out of the fucking entire legislation there, dude. Let's see, number 4, markets aggregate the exchange of goods and services throughout the world. Market prices are the only way to convey so much consistency, changing information about the supply of goods and services and the demand of them or for them. So basically, supply and demand is what they're saying there. For consumers and producers to make informed economic decisions for themselves. 5. Wealth is created by providing goods and services that people value at a profit. If that be the case, then how do giant corporations become wealthy, dude? Or sorry, how do CEOs of giant corporations become wealthy? Oh yeah, that's right. Because they fuck over people and take a bunch of profit off the backs of the rest of the actual working people in their corporation, similar to how the Walton heirs fuck over every single employee at a Walmart or a Sam's Club, dude. So they can make record ass profits and take giant ass fucking bonuses while sitting back on luxury ass yachts doing fucking nothing, dude. Seriously, the Walton heirs can go fuck themselves, dude. They are some of the biggest scumbag pieces of shit in this entire country right now, dude. And they have absolutely fucked over everybody. None of these cocksuckers ever did a fucking day of work in their fucking lives, dude. It was their father, Sam Walton, who did everything to make that corporation what it is today, dude. And his fucking shitty fucking sons and daughters and everybody else like that that's part of the airship is what it is, dude. Just sat back and collected fucking profits, dude. And again, this is the problem with having corporations be fucking people and shit like that kind of shit, dude, because they're not. They're fucking giant corporations, dude. They're giant fucking corporations with a bunch of cogs in the wheels is what it is, dude. So, anyway, and that's a big thing, dude. I love free market capitalism. It actually works. But again, it's not free market capitalism when you have a bunch of fucking, banksters and everything else like that controlling the fucking shit, dude. I'm not going to go down that road right now, but yeah, I'm not going to go full Kanye West today, man, but, you know, I gotta say, man, after I was watching some of the Can't Stop the Progress thing the other day, or whatever that dude is, his weekly shit there, and I was watching the entire Kanye rant that was put in there, and it's like, man makes some good points, man. So, but anyway, where we're at now? Yeah, I was talking about what part was we're at right now? Yeah, so it'd be Section 5. Wealth is created by providing goods and services that people value at a profit, with both sellers and buyers seek to profit in the same way in a free market transaction. Thus, profit earned through transactions can be consumed, saved, reinvested in the business, or dispersed to shareholders. Number 6, wealth creation involves asset value appropriation and description, voluntary exchange of equity ownership, and open and closed markets. See, that's the stuff I wouldn't mind having in my own fucking time period in school, dude. Like I appreciate some of this being here, actually, dude. I hope this does pass. Honestly, that'd be sweet. I'd like to see my niece and nephew have this in their actual schooling. It'd be awesome. Let's see. It said free market is driven by and tends to provide entrepreneurship and innovation. No, it doesn't, dude, because we don't actually have a free market right now, and that's the whole point right now. Again, when your entire so-called free market is crony capitalism, dude, there is no actual thing for entrepreneurship and innovation because they stifle that shit, dude. It's just like how all these giant corporations like your Googles and your Twitters, etc., dude, they stifle the shit out of actual startups is what it is, dude. You know, your Parlors, your Rumbles, your BitChutes, etc., dude. They either basically blacklist them or they wait for them to get big enough and then they buy them out is what it is, dude. And then they censor everybody's free speech after that is what it is then. So anyway, let's see here. Number 7 said free market can include side effects and market failures where at least part of the cost of the transaction, including production, producing, transporting, selling, and buying, is borne by others outside of the transaction. Let's see. That was number 8. Number 9, the political features of the free market include legally protected property rights, legally enforceable contracts, patent protections, and the migration of the side effects and market failures. And 10, societies that embrace free market often embrace political and personal freedom as well. And that's the big thing too, by the way. And that's the big thing right there, dude. Like that's how America should have been built, and that's how America pretty much was built, was on free market capitalism. The problem is, again, going back to the Bush years is really what it is, dude. You know, George W. Bush is what it is there in like 2000 or so. When you have him basically pushing a piece of legislation through and signing it as president, then that was talking about like free market shit worldwide, then all it did was basically take all of our manufacturing stuff over to China then, dude, about 22 years ago or so, give or take. And the big problem there is when you're actively fucking America over to where at one point in history, we were a manufacturing hub for the rest of the world and still should be to this day. When you take that out of stuff, dude, and you're making us a consumer driven economy where it's basically, you know, we get all of our shit from China now or whatever the case be, and now you're not producing anything and then you're just consuming. And then not only on top of that, but then you're also having a bunch of bullshit where you're like, oh, we can replace manufacturing jobs with tech jobs. Again, that doesn't equate to stuff, dude, because you're not actually teaching people anything then. In fact, you're making people dumber in the long run because you're forcing them to get into this so-called smarter tech industry. But in reality, these are the same people that have to call up somebody else to fix a fucking tire on their car, dude, because they don't know how to fix a flat is what it is. Or can't change the oil in their own fucking engine. Or don't have basic fucking skills for mechanic, any kind of thing relating to mechanics or anything else for that matter, dude. And that's a big problem right there. So yeah, it's awesome that they can do this free market capitalism potentially here. But the thing is it going to work or not? And that's what my biggest issue is right now entirely with this whole thing, dude, is it's awesome to teach kids that, you know, potentially we are a free market capitalist society, but teach them about crony capitalism as well on that one, dude. And I would actually say add that into this fucking whole entire thing, dude. And teach them exactly why America being a crony capitalist society currently is why we're in the mess we're in right now, honestly, dude. When you have fucking billionaires out there like Michael Bloomberg who can do short selling a stock and not go to prison for it, dude. When they're literally overvaluing what a stock is worth, when they're creating a whole bunch of invisible shares and making stuff like 5,000% of what it actually is, and then making money that way is what it is, dude. Because by the way, if those who don't know, that's what short selling a stock is, dude, is basically them over evaluating stuff and what should be like 100% of a stock, or whatever the case be, is now like 5,000% of stock, 5,000% thing, where it's a bunch of invisible shit there. And it's basically them hedging their bets. And it's where, obviously where hedge fund managers coming on, different things on, is them basically, evaluating this stuff like way up high and stuff like that. And then they're selling it for a profit and stuff like that, and basically selling off all this invisible shit. And when you look back at what happened with the whole GameStop thing in the last year or so, that's exactly where a bunch of people there made a bunch of money, dude. A bunch of these Reddit people made money there because they're like, oh, you want to short sell this stock and make, 5 million versions of it that don't exist and are just fucking out of thin air is what it is, dude. Okay, cool. We're going to fucking call your bluff on this one, bitch. And we're going to buy up that stuff and make you pay the fuck out then on it. And that's exactly what free market capitalism does too, by the way. You see the crony capitalist bullshit in the fucking mix and you call it fucking bluff and you make these cocksuckers pay the fuck up is what it is, dude. And that's exactly why you had pieces of shit like Elizabeth Warren and other fucking scumbag ass commies in there, fucking Bernie Sanders types, etc., dude, that were all like, oh, our buddies in the fucking big tech and big oil and big business are getting their asses handed to them in this stuff. Now we got to stop these people from being able to do this shit to them. No, now you need to get thrown the fuck out of office for being a fucking shill piece of shit to fucking corporate mega donors that you call lobbyist buddies. And that's exactly why I'm totally for banning lobbying in this country, dude, right now. Across the board. And I don't care if it would even affect me at that point, dude. Because again, it's a situation where at least these giant corporations no longer have a fucking foothold in the pockets of our politicians, dude, is what it is. In the pockets of the people who should be the civil servants of this fucking country. And the big issue is when they're in bed with these motherfuckers, nah. You don't have a free market capitalist society anymore, dude. You have a crony capitalist society pretending to be a free market capitalist society. And it's really as simple as that. And if people want to know why I'm fucking pissed, dude, it's because my family has been fucked over for decades because of these fucking crony capitalist pieces of shit out there, dude. And it's not just my family, it's your family too. It's everybody's families, dude. Everybody that's not a rich piece of shit in this country, dude, that's not a fucking multi-millionaire, if not billionaire, has had their family and themselves fucked over by crony capitalism, dude. And it's really as simple as that. Like I said, we'll be back in about 11 hours or so, give or take. Hopefully the shit's working. Then again, it seems to be working somewhat right now, but I don't know. Hopefully it'll work again later. But if it is, we'll be back for the 2A cast later today. I'll throw a link out in the description of the video there. Anybody that wants to jump in the panel, feel free. We will be doing a panel discussion today for the first time. And we'll probably have at least one or two people on for sure. I know at least one of the guys, so they'll come on with me. I'm not so sure that any of the others are going to be on or not, but we'll see one way or another. And then from here, we'll basically go from there is what it is. I got about 19 hours left on this account right now because I just started up today at 0 of 20. We're about almost an hour in here. So, but yeah, other than that, that's pretty much where we're at for the day. Like I said, it's a bunch of crap, dude, to sit there and talk about free markets while being in a crony capitalist society. And what's even worse and then you have the Antifa types out there that are going to be like, oh, and this is why communism and socialism is so great. It's like, no, you're just a fucking idiot. Doesn't understand we're in a crony capitalist society, and you're sitting there trying to blame capitalism for everything is what it is, dude. So anyway, yeah, it's a bunch of shit entirely, man. You say you caught the live, but in reality, I'm about to be ending here. Like you caught it like about a minute before we ended it, man. I don't know why that seemed to come in really small, actually. I think maybe I just need to redo the settings on this one. Yeah, because that comment came in real super small when it popped up on the screen there. But yeah, it is what it is. We'll like I said, we'll be back in about 11 hours or so, give or take, for the 2A cast for today. Hopefully the shit's working properly, dude. I'm trying to do it at 5:30 this afternoon. It depends. The laptop's been messing up for the last 4 hours or so, give or take. I keep having to reset the damn thing. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much where we're at for the day then. Yeah, it's nice to see the Ohio General Assembly trying to do something for the kids with the free market capitalism thing. But like again, if you're not going to address crony capitalism in that, you're just kind of giving them false hopes, is what it is. I feel like in general, and that's my biggest problem when it comes to politicians in this country entirely. Is like it's people that sit there and act like they're doing something good, but in reality, it's like you're only doing things half right, is what it is, dude. Like you need to give them all the facts, is what it is. You know, you don't need to just give them like a quarter or half the facts. It's like no, you give them every single fact and go from there. So anyway, that's about it for today. Hope you all enjoyed this, and I'll see you all in the next one. And we will talk about Tim Ryan today at some point during the 2A cast because fucking hate that guy too, dude. He and Nan Whaley, man. I'll tell you what, like those two are fucking peas in a pod, bro. Some of the worst people in the state of Ohio, man. Like if we could run them out of this state, I'll tell you what, it would be one of the best things to happen to Ohio right now, man. Just be like, no, get the hell out of our state. You're exiled. Leave. That would be pretty cool, actually, to see like permanent exile of certain people. I wonder how much that would change things, actually, if you could just like exile like some people from being like politicians entirely in this country. Where it's like, no, you're not representing Ohio because you don't represent Ohio at all because you're not an Ohio citizen anymore. Fuck off, kind of thing. But I don't know. I feel like again, going back to history of this country, dude, I feel like things were so much better under our founding fathers in some cases, dude, because again, they had things the correct way, like duels, you know? Maybe that's what we need again, dude. It's just like two people just going at it, man, for real. Obviously, non-lethal is what it would be, just so we're clear on everything on that one, dude. It would be more like, sort of like a, like old school, like jousting and stuff like that, or like, I don't know, maybe like sword fights, like kendo sticks or something, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it for the day, though. I mean, it depends with Tim Ryan, because I mean, of course, like the thing is, if he does lose this Senate race, will he run for Congress again? Potentially. The thing is, though, uh, the big issue there is, as far as I'm aware, the district that Tim Ryan currently represents in Congress is the one that Madison Jessiato Gilbert is currently running for against Amelia Sykes, and Madison will probably win that district, dude. And if she wins that district, I think it would be hella hard for Tim Ryan to come back into Congress then, dude. Because you'd be running against a decent congresswoman at that point who people actually like and who is pro-life and pro-2A and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, you're going to go the opposite of that stuff. You're going to be this extremist anti-life, anti-gunner and stuff like that, dude. Like, I don't know, man. That's what I'm saying. I think truthfully, like, this is going to be the end of Tim Ryan's political career in the state, honestly, dude. I'm hoping it is anyway. Because he's going to be irrelevant. It's the same thing with Nan Whaley, dude. Like, the second that she loses the Ohio governorship right now to Mike DeWine in like a week and a half or so, whenever the hell the midterms are there on the 8th, she's done. She's a failed mayor, number one. You know, literally everything that she did as Dayton mayor, dude, whether it be higher taxes or other stuff like that. It's people hated her then, dude. Like there's a reason why she didn't run for re-election, because she knew she couldn't win re-election in Dayton because people hated her fucking bullshit as what it was that much, dude. And they specifically rightfully blame her for what happened in the Dayton massacre, dude, because she could have stopped it months before that. And the big thing was, not to mention that, she put, Dayton itself under over 500 days of tyranny because of the mask mandates and crap like that. They're all unconstitutional. She had to be fucking sued in the ground over that stuff, dude. So it's like, when people finally woke up, man, they were like, nah, fuck this cunt. And it was one of those situations where the reason that she's not going to win is because she doesn't have the votes, dude. Like, she physically does not have the votes, dude. Even if people decided, hey, we're not going to vote for Dewine and vote for some like third candidate or whatever, dude, I think he could still win by like a 2-1 margin, honestly, on her, dude. And if nothing else, if you actually have people be like, no, this guy actually does done some good. Like, yeah, he fucked us over a little bit here and there, dude, but like, he's done some good shit since then or whatever, and they vote for him like by default kind of thing is what it is because they hate Nate Willie so much. You're talking about potentially a 4 or 5-1 margin Dewine to Whaley at that point, dude. It's just like the same thing with Vance and Tim Ryan, dude. JD Vance and Tim Ryan. When you look at just the primaries alone, JD wins that. Like, I think if you just see, here's the thing, just going by primary results and stuff, the amount of people that voted for JD Vance, the amount of people that voted for Tim Ryan in the primaries, JD had that by like a 2-1 margin on that. When you factor in every other vote from every other candidate, dude, JD has it by like 5 or 6-1. So that's what I'm saying. The only way the Democrats can win either one of those seats, dude, is massive voter fraud. Which, if either any of that shit happens in the state, dude, I will immediately sue the state of Ohio. If a Nan Whaley governorship or a Tim Ryan senatorship happens, dude, because there's no way they win legitimately, is what it is. And that's exactly why it's exactly why you'd have a lawsuit where it's Ohio Patriot Education Network versus the state of Ohio then. And it would be auditing the election and stuff then. So, but anyway, like I said, though, it's a bunch of shit, dude. And yeah, like if anything, that thing that we saw this week, and I don't know if I mentioned that or not in one of these casts, but there was a town hall that Tim Ryan did this week. Everybody was in masks for some reason. There were 19 people inside of this church area, dude. That's his voter base, bro. Like, this dude has a lower fucking voter turnout than Biden's ass did. And it's like, again, we know what they had to do there. And I'll leave it at that. I will mention 2,000 Mules. If you have not watched that documentary, watch the documentary because it shows everything. Anyway. But yeah, there's no way Tim wins legitimately, dude. There's no way Nan wins legitimately. And I don't think Amelia Sykes can take it either, for that matter, dude. Because again, even that district there, people are pissed. And they're rightfully pissed off at the Democrat Party at this point, dude. Because the Dems have fucked them over for the last 2 years now. And if there ain't a red tsunami, I don't know when it will happen, dude. I mean, I actually called some dude out earlier today about that, and on Twitter. And I'm assuming Twitter's probably gonna give me a 12-hour ban now, but I don't know. I know Elon Musk finally took it over and fired some people, so maybe not though. But yeah, I basically said straight up to him, I'm like, yeah, y'all, because he's like, oh, y'all ready for the blue wave 2.0? And I'm like, no, I'm ready for y'all to do what you did in 2020 again, and then we'll see how that happens. But this time, we're ready with the lawsuits, motherfucker. And see what happens there then. So, anyway. Yeah, like I said, man, it was one thing. It was one thing for them to try it once and try to get away with it. People are on their toes now, dude, and we ain't gonna let that shit happen again. So, anyway. Nobody's getting caught with their pants down this time, man. And it's as simple as that. So, like I said, we'll be back here in probably about 10 and a half, 11 hours, give or take, 5:30-ish or so. It might end up doing, I don't know. I might end up backing it up to like 6 p.m. Then if that be the case, it all depends. But, yeah. Other than that, that's where we're at for the day. And when we come back on tonight, we'll probably talk about Twitter deal with Musk and stuff a little bit more, and a few other things like that for the 2A cast. Because I don't know, I'm hoping Twitter becomes a free speech bastion now. That'd be sweet. I don't know if it will or not, but you never know, man. It all depends. But yeah, it'd be nice to see something change there and see maybe, this country actually get back to square one. I know Kanye West was talking about buying Parler now, which I thought was pretty interesting. I don't know how that's going to work or not, but of course you got the mainstream media freaking the fuck out about that and being like, oh, but this dude's such a fucking da 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 da. and talking about like his supposed anti-Semitic rants and stuff like that. And I'm just like, whatever, man. Like that's the problem with people taking shit out of context, dude. It's like, yeah, when you take that out of context a couple times, like of course, there's gonna be stuff in there with him talking about certain things. But again, if you actually watch the entire thing, which I did at this point, the guy brought up a lot of great points, and it was basically about Hollywood, more or less, being a bunch of sickos and shit like that, dude, and a bunch of other stuff. And then it just happened to be like him just going off on like a little like mini tirade thing about like, and this is why this thing is a thing, and it's like, yeah, and it makes sense, dude. And then you got some people trying to accuse the man of like black Hebrew Israelite fucking rhetoric or something like that, which I'm just like, okay, whatever. I don't think so, honestly, from what I heard, from at least from what I heard anyway. Like, there's a difference between what Connie was saying there and what the whole black Hebrew Israelite movement people are saying all the time, dude, because those people are a bunch of fucking clown ass motherfuckers anyway. Um, it's kind of like the Moorish people who were the offshoot of sovereign citizens and stuff like that. It's just like the dumber version of sovereign citizenry, is basically is what it is. So, anyway, yeah. I'm not driving. I'm traveling. I don't need a license because I'm traveling, you fucking road pirate. Like, seriously. That's why I love to just see sovereign citizens get tased, bro. Like, stupid shit like that. Like, them going on those whole, like, tirade things. It's just so fucking. God, I hate those fucking people so much, dude. I really do. I really do. I don't know who I hate more, actually. Those people or the fucking Democrats at this point, dude. Probably Democrats. Probably Democrats still. I don't know. Sovereign citizens make, yeah, like they definitely are high up on that list though, dude. And it's not like all of them either, because like some of them actually, it's not really like the sovereign citizenry part of it or whatever. It's just like sort of like freedom stuff. But like when you're sitting there shit talking the American flag and stuff like that, and then claiming, oh, this other flag is like the real flag of the United States, it's like, yeah, fuck yourself, dude. So anyway, for those that don't know about that one, that's one of the guys that was on the one of the weekend shots that I've been part of in the past couple of weeks. It's out of PA and stuff. And yeah, that guy's just something else, man. He's been on there a couple of times, and that dude just talks and talks and talks. And I think that's why we haven't really had him back on for the last couple of weeks. And I'm glad about that one. But anyway, he ain't a bad dude. It's just, yeah, some of the shit that he was espousing was a little bit much. Is the way I'll say on that one. And it was very like sovereign citizen esque, and I'm just like, all right, dude, whatever. I'm not even gonna fucking, I'm out of here, kind of thing is what it is on that one. But yeah, it's a bunch of crap entirely, dude. But anyway, like I said, we'll be back at some point here in the next half a day or so. Anybody that wants to jump on that panel, feel free. I'll be throw in the link in the description here in a few minutes, actually, and doing it as a pinned comment and stuff like that, probably. And then going off that one is what it is. Anybody that does come into that, I just ask that you be, part of the panel and actually, talk and stuff like that, and try not to talk over me or anybody else for that matter. Is what it is, man. Nothing worse than a bunch of background noise because you forget to mute yourself too, is what it is. But yeah, for the most part, though, it'll more or less be a free for all. We'll just talk about a couple different things relating to, Constitution and 2A and stuff like that. Is what it is. Actually, there's one thing I do want to talk about in that episode, which is going to be about the Delaware governor this week and what he did, and how it's a very scumbag and unconstitutional move is what it is. So it'll be that. We'll talk a little bit about Twitter deal, and I think that's pretty much all I got on topics right now for that episode. But other than that, that's pretty much where we're at for the day. Hope you guys enjoy this episode, and I'll see y'all on the next one.